A cold, calculating gaze of a saltwater crocodile locks onto its target, a daring proboscis monkey preparing to leap. With a powerful spring, the monkey launches into the air, defying gravity in a spectacular, slow-motion glide. But gravity always wins, and the monkey plunges headfirst into the murky, predator-infested river below. High above, a sentry sounds a frantic alarm call, warning the troop of the immediate danger lurking nearby. Undeterred, the brave swimmer paddles furiously across the river, fully aware that any splash could invite disaster. He maintains a steady, desperate pace, constantly checking his blind spots for any sudden ripples in the water. With a final, exhausting surge, the monkey scrambles onto the muddy bank, narrowly escaping the watery trap. Safe at last, he shakes off the river water, though the danger for his troop is far from over. Below the surface, the patient crocodile remains perfectly still, waiting for the next careless jumper to slip up. High in the canopy, two anxious onlookers watch the river, their wide eyes reflecting the constant tension of survival. For a mother proboscis monkey, the stakes are incredibly high as she cradles her precious newborn close. She holds her baby tightly against her chest, shielding it from the harsh realities of the jungle below. This intense maternal bond is their only shield, ensuring the fragile infant survives its first perilous months. Nearby, a young monkey tests its limits, hanging precariously from a branch to show off its growing agility. It scans the dense foliage, perhaps planning its next move or looking for a tasty leaf to nibble on. Two youngsters engage in a playful wrestling match, unaware of the deadly predators watching from the shadows. But playtime is quickly cut short as an attentive mother firmly pulls her adventurous baby back to safety. Sensing danger, the troop begins to mobilize, moving swiftly through the tangled branches to find a safer route. Clinging tightly to its mother's back, a tiny infant hitches a ride as they navigate the high canopy. The troop gathers at a strategic launching point, preparing for the ultimate test, a massive river crossing. Below them, a massive saltwater crocodile patrols the waters, waiting for any sign of a failed landing. One by one, the monkeys launch themselves from the highest branches, soaring gracefully across the wide gap. They rely on sheer momentum and incredible coordination to clear the dangerous, predator-filled waters below. A successful landing on the opposite bank brings temporary relief, but they must quickly scramble to safety. Seeking refuge in the dense foliage, the successful crossers immediately begin to forage on fresh green leaves. Slowly, the rest of the troop reunites in the safety of the canopy, catching their breath after the ordeal. They waste no time in filling their bellies, stripping leaves with their specialized teeth to satisfy their hunger. Their complex, multi-chambered stomachs will need nearly 50 hours to fully digest this tough, fibrous plant matter. Under the watchful eye of its mother, a tiny infant takes its first tentative bites of a leaf. But peace is short-lived, and the adults remain highly vigilant, scanning the murky river winding directly below. A sentry climbs higher up a tree trunk, desperate for a better vantage point to spot any movement. An experienced adult male steps forward, scanning the water to lead the next wave of the crossing. With a decisive leap, he plunges into the river, sending a massive splash echoing through the quiet forest. This bold move triggers a chaotic chain reaction as the rest of the troop prepares to follow. Another monkey hurls itself from the branches, aiming for the safety of the far bank but falling short. Sensing an easy meal, the crocodile begins to glide silently toward the chaotic splash zone. To confuse the predator, multiple monkeys leap simultaneously, creating a dizzying array of targets for the crocodile. They splash into the water and swim frantically, their arms churning the river into a white foam. This synchronized chaos successfully overwhelms the crocodile's sensory systems, giving the monkeys a fighting chance. Still, the patient reptile hovers nearby, waiting for any straggler to make a fatal mistake. Unfortunately, a trailing male monkey misjudges his leap and crashes heavily into the middle of the river. Realizing his mistake, he swims desperately toward the bank as the crocodile rapidly closes the distance. the gap between predator and prey shrinks to mere inches, turning the swim into a heart-pounding race. With a burst of adrenaline, the monkey scrambles up the muddy bank just as the crocodile lunges forward. He narrowly escapes the snapping jaws, leaving the frustrated predator biting nothing but empty air and mud. Defeated, the crocodile slips back into the murky depths, while the exhausted monkey catches his breath. High above, the safe members of the troop look down, relieved but shaken by the incredibly close call. To calm their nerves, they resume foraging, stripping leaves to replenish the energy spent on the crossing. An adult monkey carefully selects the tenderest leaves, enjoying a quiet moment of peace in the canopy. The troop gathers closely in the high branches, finding comfort and security in their collective presence. From this elevated vantage point, they can easily spot any approaching threats before they get too close. A tiny infant whimpers, seeking comfort and reassurance from its mother after the terrifying ordeal. The mother gently pulls her baby close, cradling it against her chest to soothe its fears. The young monkey clings tightly to her warm fur, finding safety in her familiar embrace. But a mother's job is also to teach, and she gently encourages her offspring to explore on its own. The youngster practices climbing nearby branches, though it keeps a watchful eye on its mother's movements. Suddenly, the mother leaps to a neighboring branch, leaving the young monkey to figure out its next move. Left behind, the infant hesitates, staring at the wide gap with a mixture of fear and determination. To teach a tough lesson in independence, the mother leaps into the river and swims across alone. She navigates the water with ease, climbing up the tangled roots of the opposite bank. She safely rejoins the troop, leaving her baby to face its fears and make its own way. Terrified of the water, the crying infant retreats back up the tree, refusing to make the leap. It climbs higher into the branches, searching for a safer, less intimidating path to its mother. But there are no shortcuts in the jungle, and the baby must eventually face the river crossing. Slowly and hesitantly, the young monkey begins its descent toward the water's edge. From the safety of the far bank, the mother watches anxiously, hoping her baby will find the courage. The infant reaches a low branch and cautiously reaches down, touching the cold water for the first time. It tests the liquid element with a tiny hand, shivering at the unfamiliar and frightening sensation. With a deep breath, the brave little monkey lets go and plunges into the deep river below. It paddles furiously, keeping its tiny head above water as it swims toward the distant shore. High in the trees, the troop goes on high alert, their eyes locked on the swimming baby. They scan the surrounding water with intense focus, praying that no predators have noticed the splash. But their worst fears are realized as a massive crocodile detects the ripples and begins to swim. The sentries erupt into frantic, deafening alarm calls, warning the baby of the approaching monster. They shake the branches violently, trying to distract the crocodile and draw its attention away. Seeing her baby in mortal danger, the mother monkey realizes she must act immediately to save it. Without a second thought, she leaps from the high canopy, diving headfirst into the river. The crocodile closes in rapidly, its powerful tail propelling it toward the helpless, swimming infant. The mother swims defensively, putting her own body directly between her baby and the predator's path. In a sudden, violent explosion of water, the crocodile lunges and attacks the brave mother. She sacrifices herself in a final, heroic act, giving her baby the precious seconds it needs to escape. Terrified and exhausted, the infant scrambles onto the muddy bank, unaware of the tragedy behind it. Another compassionate troop member reaches down, extending a helping hand to pull the baby up. Safe at last, the youngster is pulled into the canopy, surviving solely because of its mother's ultimate sacrifice.